Hello, ladies and gents. We're back with a big one today. It's another episode on our local to global. We're doing something a little bit different. Just to do a quick recap, I guess, before we jump into it. Because I'm going to do this episode a little bit different. We of course got announced last show or last episode, I should say, of the Architects Blueprint Battle, which essentially is a 16-man tournament with the winner getting a shot at Architect's title, but the tournament will of course feature a lot of outside independent workers that have of course heard about the opportunity and they're coming over. Most of them have popularity, so we should get fairly decent ratings, and I of course have planned it all out this way. I've been sort of gradually preparing this tournament, so I hope I haven't made any mistakes behind the scenes with the matchups, or I've actually signed everyone I need and stuff. But just for making it a little different, I've decided I won't show you guys me booking the show, just so it's a little bit more of a surprise with to see some of the new guys that are here for just the tournament. Maybe if one or two impresses, we can bring them in full time to the company, which will be pretty good. And we have a random challenger as well, that's coming from another company to challenge the architect for his belt on our first show. We're of course doing two. I did actually say in the last episode, I think I said we're doing two. We're doing two events in the 1 month to cover the round of 16 in the quarterfinals. But I don't know why I said that, because it makes no sense with there's 8 matches obviously to go through just for the round of 16. So we'll do 4 on one show and 4 on the other show, both of course being in July, to get that out of the way, and we'll be covering both of them on this episode. So without further ado, I will skip ahead, book the first show, and I'll be back when we're about to go through our first 4 matches of the Architect Blueprint Battle. Okay, here we go, we're back. The first show of the month. And as you can see on the screen, we're kicking it off strong. He is back. The man, the myth, the legend himself, the giant. Hangman returns. Now, the way this segment pretty much starts out is, of course, we know about the tournament starting tonight. And we actually have Blue Dragon, who, of course, was announced by Architect last show. And he'd be the first sort of inductee into the tournament. And it's essentially Blue Dragon who comes out. He of course never cuts promos, but he essentially comes out and starts talking to the crowd, saying, he's excited for the tournament. He feels privileged to be a part of it. But after probably about 15 seconds of talking, the Architect's music hits, and he comes out and, he basically just belittles Blue Dragon. Like taking the mic off him and just starts talking over him and stuff like that. And he's essentially mocking him, saying he's excited for his match, but of course, he won't be fighting till next show, so he better go get ready and start training and, eat all his veggies and, just get ready. I expect big things from you, Blue Dragon. You're our very own young wrestler of the year, so you need to show the other youngsters, lead by example. And Blue Dragon's sort of just rolling his eyes at him. Pardon me. And then, as the Architect keeps going on about, he's excited for tonight. He's not worried though. He's not worried about whoever his surprise opponent is. He's looking forward to the challenge, and whatever bum wins the Blueprints battle, it won't matter. It's a fun little idea by the GM, but he's not really bothered. And then Blue Dragon essentially interrupts him, saying he's surprised that the Architect's bothered to come to the show, considering who else has been announced on the Blueprint battle. And then before Architect has a chance to kind of turn around and reply to what Blue Dragon says, Hangman's music hits. He comes out, but Architect of course does not stick around. He instantly super shocked. The first time since he's actually been champion as well. He doesn't look confident. He looks shook, and he essentially just runs into the crowd, runs out the ring, runs into the crowd as Hangman comes down and he's essentially announced his return. He doesn't speak, but he's essentially announced his return, and it's inserting himself into the Blueprint Battle tournament, which also in turn with all of this means that he will be turning face. Can I turn him face and change his gimmick all in one? Because I want to do both, but I don't know if I can click both. He is turning face. Okay, good. Well, hopefully this gets a good rating. I did use a gimmick card on this, so if it doesn't pay off, we're just giving him the Hangman gimmick, but of course he's going from heel to face now. Was a success. Okay, as it should have been. It was a surefire hit. Okay, very good rating. That's pretty solid. Okay, nice. The Hangman is now here. He's back. He's back, baby. And he's also in action tonight. He'll be one of the fights against who knows. But yeah, good job. Good start to the show. We did get our rating on this one was a little bit lower with a 29, but at our standards, it's good. It's still good. Good start to the show. And the turn was a complete success. Architect struggled when going off script, so he bombed a little bit because he was essentially the only one to get rated for part one, cutting a promo, and he's been actually doing really good recently with his promos. It's a bit of a shame on the first night of his own quote-unquote tournament that he made, wink wink, not really, but his ego is too big to get broken. He basically thinks this whole tournament revolves around him. Okay, next segment, here we go. First match of the tournament, starting over the 43 rating, and it's the Historian against Riley McManus, who is someone I actually used a lot on TEW 2020. Great worker. He's also the only guy in the whole tournament in terms of popularity. He has the lowest pop, and he only costs about $40 per show, which of course it'll only be this show. But everyone else in the tournament who isn't from our company essentially has just as much, if not more, popularity than the Architect, our own champion, who's the most popular over guy. So this tournament, in a sense, should hopefully boost a lot of our workers. There was a couple matches I put in tonight, and the new workers were furious at the outcome. So you can just imagine how big of a gap some of the pop is. So these guys are all essentially known when coming. They're not complete strangers, but the Historian here, he picks up the first win of the tournament, beating Riley McManus in 11:41 with a blast from the past. Historian's also, of course, fairly new. He only picks up a 37, but the match gets the crowd hotter. We don't necessarily care about the gimmick. Is it just me, or does Riley McManus's render really look like Zac Efron? Like, maybe not really look like Zac Efron, but I feel like it does, and now I can't unsee it. Like, I don't know, he just does to me. But anyway, I don't know why that's very off. It's very random. The Historian wins 43. Good start to this show. Good start to the tournament. Historian is the first to progress. Let's see who's next. Oh, and then a 42 rating. So actually, we get a slight drop off. And it's Malik Cash who defeats Connor Threepwood in 12:06 with a cash drop. I don't know much about Malik. I've never used him before. I don't think I recognize him. He debuts his Street Punk gimmick, and he actually gets the win over Connor. So he's the first to advance in the tournament who is not essentially a part of our own roster. So that's a pretty decent rating. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not too bad considering Connor's in there. A 41 from Malik as well. So he advances alongside the Historian. Pretty decent match. You were doing pretty solid on the 1v1s. Then we have a Davis Wayne Newton backstage interview. He's essentially announcing he'll also be fighting on the tournament, but it'll be later it'll be the next event, essentially, the next show in July. But he's essentially announcing himself into the tournament interview backstage. He struggled just like Architect going off script, so our angle ratings this show are a little poor in comparison to how well they've been before, but 34, still pretty good. Crowd's still looking hot as we move into match number 3 of the Blueprint Battle. And this is actually a hardcore match too. And it's Mutant against Wicked Leicester. And it's Mutant who gets the win by pinfall with a Tina Turner. 49 rating for Mutant here, 42 for Wicked Leicester, 51 segment rating. So yeah, pretty good stuff here. It doesn't note anywhere, it doesn't tell us that it's a hardcore match, but yeah, it was listed as hardcore, just trying to mix it up a little bit. Of course, in good flavour with the new tournament. 51's really good actually for this. We don't necessarily care about the gimmick, but Wicked Leicester is another guy. I recognise him, but I've never really used him before. But he gets a 42 straight off the bat, debuting his evil psychopath gimmick. He's also rated fairly high on hardcore, just like Mutant. Hence why it made sense to do the hardcore match. Sort of two psychos going at it. And it's Mutant to advance, very solid 49 as well. Then we move into Hangman's return. And it's pretty solid, 47 segment rating here. Hangman, of course, he's back with a vengeance. And he beats Acid 2 in 13 minutes with a choke slam, pulling in a 46. Acid actually did pretty good too with a 44. And of course, earlier in the show we had, along with Hangman's return, he's now face. And that, just like Acid, he got a very good on his gimmick. So solid stuff to start here for Hangman. I don't think he gets penalised for stamina, but apart from that, it's looking good now. Good momentum. Hopefully he'll get a bonus soon if he can improve with his gimmick. But 47, good stuff. Hangman is the last to advance for this show in the Blueprint battle. And next we have our main event. The Architect, of course, doesn't know who he's up against, and he won't know until his opponent comes out pretty much right now. Oh my god. What the we get a 71. That's way above. We actually got it in the green. What the hell? 71 segment rating. And a bout that had superb wrestling and great heat. The Architect defeats Frankie Boy Fernandez in 15 minutes by submission with a blueprint, making defense number 5. Now, Frankie Boy Fernandez he has like 10 plus more popularity, and he cost me a lot of money to come into this show. It's also worth noting he also works for, I think it's IPW and CZCW, and in both of those promotions, he is the world champion. As my alarm goes off in the background, 1 sec, I'm going to turn that off instead of cutting. Yeah, so Frankie Boy Fernandez, he works for 2 other promotions, which he's the world champion in, and he came here, of course, with the idea and instincts to become a 3-time champ across 3 different promotions, but it's not to be. The Architect shows the brains and ultimately gets another defense, although Frankie Boy gets a 62 on his debut. Clean cut gimmick, gets a great 59 from the Architect, which is still also very good. We don't necessarily care about this, but a 71 segment rating. I think our highest rated match before this is like a 64 or a 62. 71's huge. That's a huge increase. We also used a creative finish on this, and it was a success, but still, I really wasn't expecting it to do this good. The Architect, though, pretty much matched Frankie Boy Fernandez rating wise, but 71 to end the show. The Architect, and probably his hardest title defense yet, and thanks to pretty much Frankie Boy and obviously some of the new guys, more so just Frankie, we pull in a 60 show rating, which is definitely our highest ever. So that is huge. And we finish off the show here, gaining popularity in one region. We're actually going to give this to, let's go Mutant. He did pretty solid work. And on, just for the return, we'll go Hangman. I've most likely made mistakes with this, because obviously I need to leave a lot of guys off the show and make sure I'm doing the tournament in the right order I want. So we'll probably most likely run into 1 or 2 hiccups, but the first show went pretty good. I mean, we got our highest ever show rating. The angles were a little bit poor when we compare them to our average, and we did lose quite a lot of money. I think we'll probably lose money this month just with what's going on. But I hopefully, fingers crossed, I don't think it'll be too much. I don't think we'll lose too much money. But obviously, at the end of July here, we'll be running our second show to do the last of the 4 round of 16 matches, which of course will have some more surprises in there too. So this, yeah, we're just going to have to bite the bullet on losing money this month. But we do move up to 15. We're only 2 points off moving up in size. We probably won't go up again this month, even though we have one more show, of course. I feel like we've most likely reached our cap. Our spillover is actually going up really quick. 5 in the Midwest, 5 in Mid-Atlantic, 5 in Tri-State. Yeah, that's like 1/3 of what we are, which seems very quick. But yeah, good stuff, actually. Very good stuff. Before I even click continue, just in case something pops up and you see the other workers or something that's going to be debuting, we're going to cut it right here, and I will be back when we get to the next July show. So I'll see you guys then. Kickoff Carnage 21, our second show in July. The final 4 matches for round of 16 Blueprint Battle. We're starting off with Dr. Funkenstein. He of course wasn't on his show last time, and he's basically just introing. Gets a 41 rating, getting the crowd hotter. Gets the show off to a strong start. Just him coming out doing his thing, you know. Maybe doing some popping and locking in the ring. Getting his dancing out, which I imagine he would be. Probably very colourful. How I imagine him, very loud, very charismatic. But good rating, 41. Already better than the angles we had last show. So I'll take it. Then we move into match number 5 of the round of 16. And it's a 44. I see a bit of red here. Oh, okay, I see. Remy pretty much carries this match, but gets the crowd hotter. And it's Remy who wins. He defeats Happy Elwood in 12 minutes 27 with a flying leg drop. Elwood not only seemed off his game, but was rusty. I swear Happy Elwood is with another company in the game. I'm pretty sure he is, or he was. So it's a bit weird that he's rusty. Maybe, I'm guessing he isn't, because that would be weird if they're just not using him. But it's another debut, albeit the first pretty lackluster one though. All the other guys have been pretty on par with ours. Not the case today. Remy dominates this one, getting the win. 44 segment rating, which is pretty solid though. Can't complain. Remy always coming in clutch. So he advances to the next round. And then up next, we have someone I'm excited to see, and he's not disappointed here. It's Aldous Blackfrere, who wins the second of the outsiders to win, and he defeats Jules Knight by submission with a batwing. We get a 50 segment rating here. Both guys get solid in rings. His gimmick doesn't do too well. Now, Aldous is someone I really liked on the last TEW, and I believe he's the first and only guy in this whole tournament who I brought in from my shortlist, and the rest were just, more based on the popularity. So I'm excited because he is someone potentially I would like to bring in. And he started off fairly well with his rating here. He advances also to the next round. 46 in ring performance for him. Pretty good stuff. I do like Aldous, so that's good. The match turned out pretty well there. Moving into match number 3, and he's on a bit of a hot streak at the minute. Papa Swole, since his return as well. I actually gave this, I had an extra creative finish, which was a gamble, and it's actually worked. I put it on this. That's why the segment rating's so high. We actually had this was actually very good. Papa Swole gets the win though over Carlos Barrera with a boom shakalaka, but Carlos Barrera actually did good. Papa Swole gets up to a 53, 55 from the debuting Carlos. Creative finish was a success. And Papa Swole, he's on I think he's unbeaten this year too. He's having a very, very good 2023. Albeit, of course, he had the broken arm, but he's pretty much returned just in time for the tournament. So, he's got it all to fight for. Get back in the title scene in front of our highest ever attendance as well. 62. I don't actually know if the main event will beat that. We do have Architect fighting. I didn't actually put it in a segment, but he's up against another random opponent to stick with the theme, of course, of bringing in an influx of new blood, new fresh blood, and he's got another random opponent with his title on the line for the main event. But then next up we have the Architect in a backstage interview. He's basically being asked about all the new guys, all the new faces, you know, the likes of Malik, Cash who advanced, and Mutant and Hangman, you know, all the people who've advanced so far. And he's basically he's playing it cool. He says he doesn't, you know, he's being asked about Hangman's return. How does he feel about that? Surely there's a big target. He knows there's a big target on his back, but you know, Architect in typical Architect fashion just plays it off. You know, he's cool, calm, collected, and the only reason he's came before his match tonight is to wish Blue Dragon good luck on his match, which is coming up next. You know, he wishes him the best. He said he's actually handpicked Blue Dragon's opponent for him. It was one of the things he had leeway on. You know, because obviously I'm the boss, he's the boss. You know, I get to do what I want. So he wishes him the best of luck. He's gave him the best possible, easiest matchup he could think of. You know, the worst guy in the whole company, and he's gave him to Blue Dragon. So good luck to Blue Dragon. Moving into that match though, it wasn't quite as anticipated because Blue Dragon was up against the triple threat man himself, Davis Wayne Newton, our ex-champion, and he, of course, perishes as Davis Wayne Newton defeats him in 13 minutes with a fisherman's suplex. And that rounds off our round of 16 matches, with Davis being the last to advance. They actually have pretty good chemistry, which would have lifted the match. So we get a 55 here, which is really good. 58 rating from Davis. Blue Dragon only with a 39, but it's obviously been carried pretty much. So yeah, Architect, of course, said he pretty much handpicked it, so he's essentially just toying with Blue Dragon for no reason. He's just being a bit of a bully, which isn't really, I'm sure, won't go down well with Blue Dragon. But anyway, we move onwards to the main event. Let's see how we do with our match rating. Oh my god, I forgot we had an interview with Papa Soul as well. I thought the match rating was 45. But yeah, basically just benefiting from the hot catchphrase, and so we can advance our storyline through one of our segments. Papa Soul's essentially just talking about all the other competitors too, and how he feels like he's got a real chip on his shoulder now. He feels like a new man since coming back from his injury. He had a lot of time off, a lot of time to think. And the only thing on his mind right now is to get the Prestige Worldwide Championship title, and he'll go through whoever it takes to get another shot at Architect. 45 though, very good. Moving in now to the main event. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. What has happened here? Oh my god. So the Architect wins, making defense number 6 against Zombie Boy, someone I've never used. I am familiar with, you know, the name and the character, but never used him. He gets a great rating on his gimmick, and we actually use a creative finish for this, which was a success. Architect shown in the match. That's the first time we've ever seen that. He actually gets a 68. I wonder if maybe he's took a big jump in popularity after beating Frankie Boy Fernandez in the last show, because 68 is huge. I think the highest he got was maybe just about a 60, but he makes another defense. Now I'm trying to work out why the segment rating is so low. A 48 seems very harsh, even if penalised. Oh, no way. I didn't even know. I didn't even get a prompt. Basically what this means, if I'm not wrong, that Zombie Boy is scatterbrained as an attribute, which means he is basically horrible on scripted matches, which is really annoying because I could have done this unscripted and the rating would have still been fine, because Architect has pretty good psychology. No way, we just missed out on probably another, even maybe even like a 70+ match, because the Zombie Boy is good. Like on paper, he can go. So that's a real bummer, because that's going to really mess up our show rating overall. But yeah, there's not much we can do. It's a win for Architect. His sixth defensive title now. He's catching up with the Davis numbers. Davis held the belt for almost I think it was 11 months. Architect is he's, as much as he scammed and cheated his way to winning the title, he's he's about it. Architect's about it, and he's showing him, even though he lies, cheats, and steals pretty much. But so yeah, show rating 49, which is actually still not very bad. We didn't result in any popularity changes. We get slight penalty on our whole storyline, which was always going to be hard to advance it this month because we're doing our tournament. But that does finish it off for July. So before we end the episode, because I do know with not showing you guys me booking the show, this episode's probably going to be much shorter. And I am excited to see the popularity changes actually of the people in the tournament. So let's go with the Architect. He did really good, and we'll go with Remy for saving that match with Happy Elwood. And then we're going finances. We lose. Yeah, we'll need to check our finances too actually. Popularity recap, of course there was none, so we don't need to see that. We'll quickly advance here. But yeah, overall it's been a pretty decent start. I was quite excited to do something a bit different because obviously with the local to global, there's so much advancing to do. There's like so much to go through, and it can be, I guess, maybe more so for you guys because I'm having a lot of fun just playing and booking. But for you guys to kind of, I feel like if it gets to the point it's kind of the same thing and the same workers, the same faces every week, then it might get a little bit boring to watch. Maybe not, I don't know. But hopefully this nice little like segment, I guess, will help shake things up for you guys watching, seeing some new guys fighting our workers. I'm not actually sure when we rise in size if we will have a minimum roster amount, and if we do, how much fighters it'll be, or how much workers. Sorry, I keep saying fighters. I'm so used to when I used to record World of Mixed Martial Arts. If anyone's familiar, I used to do it on another channel. Yeah, so I'm so used to saying fighters instead of workers. But I guess you guys get the gist. Hopefully we've done some good numbers here on our popularity gains. I'm going to assume the Architect did, beating Frankie Boy Fernandez, just for the simple fact he had quite a big bounce up on his in-ring performance, which of course with our product, I believe it's rated 60-40 either way between popularity and essentially wrestling skill. These are all just touring contracts. Okay, let's have a little peek here. We're into August. Let's see how our finances are looking. So we did lose money. We only lost 644 though, which is really not bad considering we went up from 1,000. Well, that was a month before, sorry, in June. Oh no, yeah. So yeah, we went from we averaged just over 1,000, and we went to nearly 3,500 and only lost 600. We got a nice jump on merchandise. Most likely because of the workers. Ticket sales, of course. So yeah, I mean, that's worth it, I think. Only losing that amount, we're very, very close here. Only 2 more. We'll definitely go up this year. There's no way we won't. And then, yeah, let's have a quick peek. Some of these guys we need to actually get rid of. I think, yeah, like Frankie Boy Fernandez is still here, but I only signed him on a 1-match contract, but I must have done it wrong or something, but I'll deal with that later. Let's go over to the roster. So let's have a quick peek. We'll have a look at most just for the sake of it. So Blue Dragon's the same, which makes sense. Connor hasn't dropped. He actually went up. Wait, what? He went up? That's weird, because he lost. He lost to Malik Cash. And I thought maybe it would be if he's in another promotion, but he hasn't gone up anywhere else. But I mean, okay, 19, he stays. Davis Wayne he obviously wasn't fighting anyone essentially higher pop than him. He beat Blue Dragon, but he does go up, so that's still good. He's up to 25. Dr. Funk only previewed on the on the angle, so he won't move. Frankie Boy, let's actually see him. He actually never budged, and he was furious when I booked him in against the Architect. He was furious to lose, but he hasn't changed in his popularity, which is interesting. Okay. Hangman is he up to 23? Oh yeah, he's took a huge jump. He is huge jump after beating Acid. Gone up by 5, which I believe 5 in 1 month is the highest you can go up. So that's like perfect. That's like what we want. He's just came back on his return. He's a little bit behind on the popularity because we haven't used him for essentially like 7 shows or so, which is a bit longer than I wanted because obviously we only do the shows every month. But having said that, perfect. He's gone straight up. He's skyrocketed this month. Jules Knight stays the same. That makes sense. We haven't used any of these guys. Mutant, it should be up to. Yeah, he's also gone up 5. The exact same as Hangman. He, of course, beat Wicked Lester in the tournament through his hardcore match, so that's really good. Papa Swole's up to 20. Wait, what? Holy schmoly. Papa Swole jumps up 6 points. I didn't know we could go up so much. I know I literally just said we can only go up 5. I know you can essentially go up more, but I thought you would need to be like on a broadcaster in a much bigger size. Papa Swole jumps up 6 points. And Carlos Pereira wasn't even that much money. When you think about bringing in those guys who have more pop than our guys, they essentially cost between maybe $200 and $500, which is quite a lot. But if you did like one at a time, if you wanted to kind of be a bit gamey and cheese the game, you could like skyrocket your guys' pop. Maybe I need to start doing that just a little bit more, just to like mix things up on the cards too. They don't obviously necessarily have to always lose, but it would make sense if we're bringing them in for $200, $300, $400 a show that they're going to lose to elevate our guys. But Papa Swole up to 29. He's on fire. Like I mentioned before, not only in the ring, but his pop is showing. Remy jumps up 2. He only jumps up 1 after beating Happy Elwood, but he's in the 20s now, which is good. Oh my god. The Architect went up 10. Holy shit. I was not expecting that. What the fuck? The Architect jumps up 10 points to 35, which is wild because Frankie Boy Fernandez didn't even lose any. How much are we paying him? Is it not? Where's... Oh no, it's we're paying him 600 a show, which is basically why we lost money. He is very good though. That's crazy though. 10 points he's gone up. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And when I used to play TEW 2020, I used to cheat. Like I used to play fantasy booking and then make my own broadcaster with like on the highest pop, like doing like event, like so many events all the time, getting like 50,000 people to all my shows. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone go up 10 in 1 month. I'm not saying it wasn't possible in the last game, but I don't think I ever remembered experiencing it. So that's crazy. He's jumped up so high. Rightly so, though. He is doing very good work as our champ right now. So I'm not complaining. Historian, he jumps up too after beating Riley McManus too. So overall, I would say the loss of finances starting off this tournament is 100% worth the investment. Like 100%. We had Mutant and Hangman both jumped up +5. Architect's gone up 10. Then we had the likes of Historian and Remy who went up a little bit. Papa Swole. Papa Swole gone up 5. Mutant went up. Did Mutant go up 5 too? No, Papa Swole went up 6, sorry. Mutant and Hangman went up 5. So yeah, lots of like big jumps for the people we want, Smart booking, I guess, for having made all the notes for this tournament off camera. I was able to... Let me just double check here that this is actually went to all... Okay, yeah, perfect. These are all the people. So there's the next round, essentially, for anyone wondering, which we will do on the next month. I think next month, or of course August, we might do 2 events again just because if we don't, we still have like 3 more events till we get to the final of this tournament, and I don't really want to do that. I don't really want it to drag on. So we'll probably do 2 events again in August, but I'll probably go back to showing you guys the booking. Or if you guys think otherwise, just comment and let me know what you prefer. Do you prefer just seeing the show? Do you prefer seeing both? To be fair, I feel like just doing both makes sense, because even if you prefer to just see the show, you can just skip through the episode to the show. But anyway, quarterfinals are locked in. Or even comment below, actually, if you're still watching now, comment below who you think will win the whole tournament, because I have it planned out, so I know in my head what's to happen. But pretty good matchups. See, we have, of course, Malik Cash and Aldous, who did pretty good on their debuts. Mutant is getting better and better, and now that his morale's going up. We obviously have Hangman and Papa Swole, who took a big jump up now in popularity, both back. One from injury, one from a bit of a hiatus, and they are smashing it on all cylinders. And then, of course, we have our ex-champ Davis Wayne Newton. He's actually up against Aldous, so that'll be a very good matchup. And Mutant against Malik Cash as well. Malik Cash. Yeah, so this is big things here. I'm excited to get into the August shows, but until then, I will leave you guys. Hopefully you're enjoying the series. We're hitting double digits now on our episodes, or we're getting there. We're coming up on the end of year 2 as well, which is crazy. Hopefully we can slow things down soon though, in terms of advancing so fast, because the one thing, as much as I love local to global, the main downside of it is by the time you reach, maybe small or medium in size and can start going to bidding wars to steal workers that you actually want to use, you're usually quite a few years into the game. So a lot of those guys that you maybe planned on using, you can't really use them anymore because they're older and withering away, essentially. But that's why you gotta just use what you got and make the most of it, which I guess sometimes makes for the best stories, the most unexpected ones, Wow. Words of wisdom there by Sam himself to end the show. But until next time, guys, have a good one. Take it easy, and I'll see you on episode 12.